For me, I would define kinship care as those that have been a part of that child's life or their parents' life. And for us, and I know in our culture, we were raised with a lot of cousins that we found out weren't related to us now that we're adults. But growing up, no one could have told us those weren't our aunts, those weren't our uncles. So for me, kinship is those who are ingrained in your life, and it may not necessarily be by blood, but they're a foundation of who you are and what makes your family a family.
So foster care is essentially the same, except for you're going to strangers. I think that my perception of foster care may be different than other people. I think foster care should be about getting those kids reunited back with their parents, if at all safely possible. And so I think foster care is just creating a new branch of family members. And so if it's looked at like you're adding to the family versus separating and splitting up or changing, it's just a lot more beautiful and tends to work out a lot more beneficial for the kids in the long run. Putting more focus on relatives and kinship options is going really well, because we all know that those kids keeping that link and that connection is what's most important and creates less of a trauma.
The baby that came to us like a couple days old, and the first thing that I said was, I will never fight her family if they got into the position to get her back. I don't care how far in the future it is. Does it change the fact that I love that baby like she was my own? No. Does it take away the sting and the hurt? No, it doesn't. But you know what? I signed up for this. She didn't. And so remembering that I signed up for it, we signed up for it, we took on this responsibility. We are the adults in a situation. Our hurt shouldn't be more important than that baby, that child, that little one. Ultimately, their family is the best thing for them, even if we don't agree. It's proven that the family unit itself and keeping those ties and connections, if it's safe to do so, is the best for that child. So putting ourselves on the back burner, no matter how much it hurts, that's what we signed up for, and that's what that child needs.
I always say be ready to cry those ugly tears. I know how many times I've cried the ugly tears. And it's okay for the kids to see you crying those ugly tears behind them, and at the same time saying, I'm so happy for you. I always, from the beginning, when I'm building that relationship with the kids, ask them what outcome they want to see. What realistic outcome do they want to see? And then that's the goal we're working towards. So that doesn't stop me from bonding and creating that relationship and loving them, because every kid that enters into our home is our babies as long as they're there. And so we're building those connections, but at the same time, we're building the connections to the biological family. We're building those connections to previous connections that child may had, whether it's adults from school or coaches. If there's any connections that we can salvage and maintain for those kids, that's what we're working on. So we're seeing the joy in their eyes when they get to see their parents or they get to see their grandma. So that's gonna far outweigh my ugly tears. And so it makes it that much easier to say, I love you, and it's not goodbye, I'll see you later. We're always, like I said, we're just expanding our family. We're an ever-growing, evolving family.